Dobro jutro, Dr. Salzman. Thank you for having us. Hope you had some time to scan through the report we sent you last week. Just in case you didn't have enough time, we prepared a small presentation for you to inform you about the investment we're suggesting to you. Actually, the investment we're suggesting is Banco Bradesco in Brazil. Some quick facts about it. It was founded in 1943. It is currently the third largest bank in Brazil, and it is listed in 3 major stock exchanges. The branches right now are almost 5,000, and the financial statements were prepared by accountants of Bradesco and checked by KPMG. They also use the IFRS accounting standards. Now the interesting part of our research is we divided our report in 3 parts: quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, and macroeconomic environment. These are actually the ratios we calculated, and we focused mainly on the ones marked in red. But what differs us from others is that we actually went through financial statements and income statements of 6 major players in the banking industry in Brazil, thus creating a sample industry that we compared with our company Bradesco. The main focus was that we weighted all companies according to their total assets rather than their market value, mainly because some of the companies that we chose are still under governmental control and influence. So, starting with our ratios, we separated our ratios into efficiency, profitability, coverage, and leverage. As you see, these ratios, they have been Bradesco has always been outperforming the industry we created, meaning that it's more efficient. On terms of current ratio, our company the ratio is the most important actually, because it means that they can cover their short-term obligations, which, as you see in the graph, despite the small decrease in 2010, they were still outperforming the industry. The same thing happens in all the other ratios, and our company outperforms the industry. Our research was concluded by focusing in calculating the Z-score model. It was introduced by Edward Altman, who actually used this model to calculate the probability of a firm going bankrupt, which in other terms, it calculates how financially healthy is one company. For our case, we used a specific model which is for banking industry only, and the Z-score is generated by using 4 specific different ratios multiplied by constants that give specific weight to each ratio, thus creating a specific number for each year. And if we see the rating scale, our bank is rated B, which in terms of macroeconomic environment in Brazil can be considered a good and healthy company to invest money in. So, this was the quantitative part of our research. I will pass on to Queen to continue with the qualitative and macroeconomic.
Thank you, Josh. So now I will move on to the qualitative analysis. In the qualitative analysis, I look at the customer and investor perspective to evaluate the performance of the bank. So, in the customer perspective, Bradesco, you can see from the slide that Bradesco is offering a wide range of service to meet the increasing demand of customers, and also the increasing foreign ATM sales will also increase the profitability of the bank. In case that Brazilian people want to use cash rather than cards. And also, Bradesco is one of the largest banks in Brazil, and they have received many awards in terms of offering superior customer service. In the investor perspective, we look at risk and return. And in risk, we evaluate the performance of the bank based on the non-performing loan ratios and also the Tier 1 capital adequacy ratios, as you can see on the slide. You can see that the non-performing loan ratios of Bradesco is the lowest. It's the lowest comparing to the main players in the industries, and also the Tier 1 capital adequacy ratios is, even though it's the lowest, it's still significantly higher than the requirement level of Basel II, which is 8%. So moving on to return, we look at the EPS rather than EPS because it offers a more comprehensive view, because it takes be transferred into common equity. And you can see on this page that the level of Bradesco is keeping up with the level of Itaú, which is very good. In the PE ratios, this is very important ratios for investors. And we can see on the slide that the PE ratios of Bradesco has been able to catch up with Itaú for a long time. And you can see the level of Santander is really big. We suggest there are two possible explanations for this. One is that investors expect high growth for this company, and the other explanation is that the EPS is relatively low, which is true from the previous slide. And the final return is the PB ratio. This is important for a bank because because the total asset of a bank is very big, and in this case, the PB ratios of Bradesco is significantly higher than 1, which is a good sign for investors. So the final part of our analysis is the macroeconomic analysis, and we look at the indicators such as GDP, inflation, unemployment, the improvement of legal requirement, and corruption control, as you can see the result in the slide. And also we choose Brazil because of the increasing of the wealthiness of the middle class, so they have more money to put into the bank. They have more demand. They go to the bank to get a mortgage to buy a house, something like that. So in the end, our presentation, I want to suggest that in order to capture the upcoming Olympics and World Cup, we suggest you to invest in short term rather than in long term with this company. Thank you for your attention.